boys? What's up?
What's up? I had to make sure I was muted this time, so I didn't talk over the intro.
Well, we were thinking that should be like the trademark. You always like just ramble something over the intro. That could be the Blake McKee move.
Yeah, that would be good. Just a little something, a little speckle of something every episode. Yeah. I could do that. How are you boys doing?
We doing.
Living
it up.
The consensus.
Well, that's what I was saying, because I've been doing all right. Because I don't know, we got some super fans from the show here here locally. I actually had one of our fans bought me some socks with Sasquatch on them. I forgot to bring them in here. I have to go get them.
Oh, come on. Oh, now it's just us. Now we get a view of Hunter's room. Wow. Someone, a super fan, bought him socks. Who's that?
Yeah, I think it's Tim. Tim bought him some Sasquatch socks.
That's awesome. We haven't talked about Sasquatch yet. That's
no, it's coming. It's coming.
All right, let's see these socks. Yeah, these are my conspiracy theory socks. That's fantastic.
This was bought by our super fan Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
Shout out to Tim.
Shout out.
Get fan mail.
What
you got to wear them.
No, that's going on the Patreon. No sock feet reveal until we.
Yeah.
It's gonna be on the OnlyFans page.
That's right. Donate $10 a month. You get sock pics.
Yeah. So yeah, no, we ain't fooling with that. Y'all gotta prove that you're loyal. I start doing stuff like that.
That's right. We haven't quite gotten there yet. All right. So what are we hitting today?
So we're doing this little chill stream. We're zenning out. We're gonna kick back. We're gonna talk about crazy stuff. We're gonna talk about Genesis 6. We're going deep into the Bible. We're going Sunday school. We're gonna talk about the Nephilim. I don't know if anybody's familiar with the Nephilim. It's them crazy dudes living in back in Genesis.
Crazy dudes.
You guys big Nephilim fans? You Nephilim heads?
So I'm gonna be honest, I've heard the name about 5 times in my entire life. But I'm just kidding. Great Nephilim. Love them.
Well, we got to start with if we're going to talk about the Nephilim, we got to talk about Genesis 6. Matt, I think you got a clip of Genesis 6 we're going to look at.
Yeah, I got 2 verses.
Roll the slide.
2, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves of all whom they chose. And then Genesis 4, there were giants on the earth in those days and also after, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown.
So face value, what does that sound like? What do you think of that?
I know the most popular theory on it.
What's the most popular?
Well, that the angels came down and had relations with women and gave birth to giants.
So
I've heard this theory.
So this is where the Book of Enoch comes in. So you've got the Old Testament that you're familiar with. Then you got the New Testament. So the Book of Enoch is written in between the two. It's written about 300 BC, 300 to 200 BC. So there's 3 books of Enoch. There's Enoch 1, 2, and 3. Enoch 1 is the oldest. That's the one that was written between 200, 300 BC. That has 2 books within it. It's got this thing called the Book of the Watchers, and it's got this other one called the Book of Parables. So the Book of the Watchers is kind of like it kind of fills in the gaps of Genesis 6. So you've got Genesis 6, and that's all the Bible says in Genesis about this. It's like this. It's that one section. It says, hey, the sons of God breed with daughters of man, and there were giants, and then it just goes away. It doesn't mention that again. In that, at least
in Genesis.
At least in Genesis, yeah. At least in that part, it isn't really in depth. But if you go into the Book of Enoch, what the Book of Enoch talks about is these angels were they're called the Watchers. They were like, it was like a group of them, and they kind of got together on this place called Mount Hermon. Kind of in the Middle East, and they kind of conspired to go with these women. They like picked one out and they married, and they bore these giants. So that they made these giants. So in exchange for to breed with these women, the angels promised, like, well, the angels showed all men, like the fathers of these women, they showed them how to do all these things, like brew potions and psychedelic drugs, like how to make weapons and stuff like that. So Enoch kind of gives like this weird little it's like the side story about it, kind of what was going on. And yeah, so that's kind of like what's going on. That's where the kind of the giants and stuff kind of come from. And in the New Testament, the book of Jude actually quotes Enoch.
Does he quote Enoch, or is Enoch quoting Jude?
No, so Enoch comes is 300 BC, and then Jude is written after. Jude's written after.
That's when it's written. Okay.
So yeah, so you got these other books in the Bible quoting from Enoch. So there's no church right now that has, the only church that has Enoch in its canon is the Ethiopian church. Yeah. So it's in their Bible, but there's no other like church canonizes it. Like the Catholics don't canonize it. Orthodox
Baptists.
No. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Don't canonize anything.
Oh, for sure. No. Yeah, for sure. I asked because my brother-in-law and I were talking about this, and my father-in-law, preacher, planted churches and stuff, and so I was like, "Hey, tell me about the Book of Enoch." He was like, "Heresy." I was like, "Okay, sounds good." He dove into it a little bit, but yeah, he talked about the giants, talked about all that stuff. But yeah, he's like, "Yeah, it's heresy." I was like, "Okay,
well,
cool."
So one of the things too is that supposedly Jesus quotes from the Book of Enoch. A lot of people say as when he says, "In my Father's house there are many mansions," that comes from Enoch. So that's a verse that's in Enoch too. So they say Jesus quoted from it, but I think the way I look at it is like, obviously it's not. I wouldn't consider it like on par like with other scriptures, but I think it is it is like a historical document, because I mean I think it does have some truth to it, because, and I mean you guys can kind of weigh in on this too, because kind of look into some I've looked into some other stuff that kind of tie into what it was talking about, and like the way like the Old Testament Jews would have understood Enoch, like in context with all this other stuff that was kind of going on.
Yeah, from what I've heard, I could be wrong, and this could dive into, like, we could get deeper into it, I suppose, but I've heard there are many books when they were coming up with I don't know if it's called the Bible canon. There were many books that, for whatever reason, they decided not to include in that Bible, like Genesis, Exodus, Deuteronomy. And I suppose Enoch is one of those.
It's part of the Dead Sea Scrolls, which were a bunch of different documents that were uncovered. But the thing is, like, they studied all of these books and cross-referenced them with other documents, including books that ended up in the Bible. And they left out the things that weren't, coinciding with these books. So it wasn't really left out. It just, the Book of Enoch had some discrepancies, I think, with some of the texts. And I think there was a big part of the Book of Enoch that goes into the genealogy of angels, which they kind of,
Yeah, so it does list like the names of the angels that kind of like conspired to do this. I think because I don't know if you guys ever heard of a guy named Michael Heiser. You guys ever heard of him?
No.
He wrote a book.
Maybe I heard the name.
Well, he wrote a book called the Unseen Realm. That's kind of like big, and like these like giant circles and like Nephilim circles, stuff like that, where he kind of argues that because in the Bible there are in like the Old Testament there are references to these things called Elohim. So it's like, obviously God is called Elohim, but then all these there's other beings that are called Elohim too. Mormons use this to argue that there's more than one God. So they those verses, but in the context of the Hebrew, Elohim just means like a divine being. So obviously God is his own thing, and then there's these other kind of divine beings. So he kind of argues that God has like this like almost like a court, kind of like a king does, where he has like these kind of, obviously God's in control, he can do whatever he wants to, but he the way he chooses to kind of operate is that he has this like court that he can kind of like talk with, kind of the same way like he has like how he uses humans to do his will even though he doesn't need us.
Right.
God kind of does the same thing with angels. And so he kind of points out, like so Michael Heiser kind of points out that these other beings, like when they rebelled, obviously you know Satan, like he had a rebellion, he fell, and like he's the devil now. But then you have these other angels that kind of did the same thing, which is kind of part of this whole thing that kind of gets detailed in Enoch. And these other gods that are kind of in the Old Testament are kind of tied in with these angels too. So like when you hear like Baal, like this could have been like another entity that was like a fallen angel that kind of fell in with these other tribes, and they started worshiping this fallen angel.
Why does that make sense?
True.
It's starting to make sense. The pieces are coming together. Okay, I'm thinking through. I'm trying to think of the right question. Like, who is Enoch? What? Yeah, who is Enoch? What led him? Maybe this is two-parter, and maybe there is no answer to this. What led him to write these? What do you say, 3?
Well, here, let's go. Let's go Joe Rogan style. Look us up. Pull up. We need to pull up the verse of Enoch about Enoch in Genesis.
Hold on.
That's important. We put that on the screen.
Oh wait, can we actually do that?
We did.
If I had it.
Look at him.
Yeah. What is Joe Rogan's guy who does all this? Jamie.
What up, Jamie?
Yeah, pull up, Jamie.
So what are we looking for?
Pull up the verse about Enoch in Genesis.
Can you do it in that pygmy Hawaiian variation of the scripture? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I showed that to my father-in-law, and he was like, "Is that real?" I was like, "Yeah, it is."
Yeah, I like reading out of the Geneva Bible. It's written like this crazy old English.
Oh yeah. Trying to find a church that uses Geneva or the pygmy. It hasn't worked out yet. Why is my camera out of it? There we go. It's because it's dark in here. I need a light. I don't want to turn the overheads on though. It's too bright in here. Anyways, come on, Jamie. I'm just kidding.
See, it's a practice run. We gotta work on our tech skills.
We almost need to have.
Hey, I'm working on it.
You're good. Oh man. Oh, you see behind the.
Is that good?
Yeah, that good? Yeah, that's good.
So Enoch is so I wanted to pull up and give context. So he's Methuselah's father, and Methuselah is Noah's grandfather. Father or grandfather, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's his grandfather.
Okay. I thought Enoch for some reason, because I stink at the genealogy within the scriptures. For some reason I thought Enoch was just some like bro that was like, I'm gonna write a book.
So I guess to be clear, I don't think Enoch wrote the book. It's just attributed to him because it's in 300 BC, which is way after Enoch. Enoch was before the flood, so this was. But the main part of the passage is that he's the one where he walked with God and he was no more. That's the kind of the mysterious thing around him, is that he just kind of it's traditionally believed that he was like God just brought him into heaven. He didn't die.
Yeah. He's one of the two.
Yeah, him and Elijah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So then if you want to go into prophecy, him and Elijah are believed to be the ones to come back. I believe. I forget what that is. The methodical.
Like, Enoch, what was up with this book, Chief? What y'all are writing about? I know you didn't write it, but what are you people writing about?
You probably know better, Hunter. The prophetical two.
Yes, it's the two witnesses in Revelation.
Yeah, two witnesses. Yeah.
Most people think that that's Elijah and Enoch, the ones that would come back, and kind of they're the ones that like prophesy
Yeah.
The ones that are like proclaiming the gospel in Revelation, they're the ones that get killed.
Yeah.
But
So I wasn't
That's
far
next
off.
week's episode. Revelation. Just kidding.
Yeah, go in depth.
Yeah. Man, what a wild ride that would be. All right. Hold on. I'm trying to think of my next question. Y'all carry on. I'm thinking. Carry on. I thought I had something.
So, hey, do you want to dive deeper into what the Nephilim, actually is?
Yeah, so they're the way that they're described. Like there's a couple descriptions of them in the Bible. There's some stuff. There's some stuff in Amos about them too that kind of come up where there's this guy that gets killed. Well, there's this guy that God commands to get killed, and it describes him as the size of a cedar tree, which is pretty big. The other thing too is like Goliath they think that he was kind of like descended from the Nephilim. But the other thing too is that the book of Enoch, the way that Enoch describes it, is that the whole reason for the flood was God realized God wanted to wipe out these things because they were just getting like way too powerful, and they were just
they were abominations.
yeah.
That would make sense. That's one good way to do that.
Just wipe them out.
I've heard some stuff too that the whole reason the angels decided to mate with these women and create these like hybrid things was because they were trying to stop the bloodline for the Messiah. It's like they didn't want Jesus to come, so they were trying to like
pollute it.
But I don't think that I haven't really seen anything to like substantiate that. That's just something I've read before. That's kind of like a weird theory.
So going back to what you were saying earlier. Potentially some of these other gods that were being worshipped were in fact these descendants or the Nephilim. Nephilim?
No, these would have been the angels, the angels themselves.
Gotcha.
Nephilim are just the offspring of the angels and the humans. They're the giants.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
Like one thing.
Gotcha. I was like, well, could those be like connected to what the Romans worship? But then obviously the Romans are way after.
Well, see,
all this stuff happens.
I think so. I think it's part of the same thing because a lot of cultures have this kind of story, especially like the Greeks. They have like kind of like this same lore. Like before the Great Flood, there were these kind of titans that did all these things. It's like you got to think like the story of Zeus. It's like, what does he do? He comes down off of Olympus. He has sex with women. It's like it's all kind of.
And the demigods were the Nephilim of their mythology. Yeah. And it's the same.
The fact that it's all kind of connected. I wasn't actually planning on leaving this conversation be like, huh.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting.
Well, I think it just kind of shows that it's like I think there is like a it's like a shared kind of narrative that like all these cultures have. It's like I think it's all, but it's like this is the Old Testament Jewish version of it, which I mean I just happen to think this is the right one. But it's like I think because like every culture has a flood story. It's like you have the Epic of Gilgamesh. You have all these flood narratives. Same thing with you have all these kind of same kind of stories like with gods and stuff like that kind of happen. So I think something happened that all these cultures have a kind of shared memory of.
Yeah.
I think obviously for sure the flood, but
the reason behind the flood as well.
Yeah, I need to be obviously like I've always thought the reason behind the flood was like the world was so full of sin, basically needed to just wipe it out, start over. But
and it could have been. I mean, you got to
also be full of sin and demi-humans.
But they could have been using and abusing their power too, and creating these sinful environments. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. I mean, you're right. That is a possibility. See, it's hard to talk about things when I can't get a definite answer later. I'm like, I need the facts. I need concrete. And the fact that we're going to leave here. Like, Mothman, is he real? I still don't know. I left that conversation with more questions than I had answers.
Well, so I think to the whole thing about like the giants and stuff like that. There's some connection with there's connections like with the U.S. too. You know about these? You heard of these burial mounds that they found like around here? There was one. There's been a couple that they found like in the 1800s where they had like these 8 tall, like kind of like these 8-foot tall skeletons that they found.
No.
There's a lot of newspaper articles about it. Like,
I've heard about this massive. Where is it? I was listening to the man, the myth, the legend, Joe Rogan, of course.
Yes.
He was interviewing somebody that does. Man, I can't remember what they do, but there's some story. I think it's in the U.S. of this really big wall, like massive bricks that. Some people, it's an archaeologist who was talking to. Some people are saying that, oh, that's just a natural thing. But then you look at it, and I looked at the photos, I'm like, those look like they were placed there. So, and then they were talking about like, how could they have been placed there? Like they're massive, but what could be what you're talking about? You're talking they found burial mounds with what 8-foot tall skeletons.
Yeah.
Well, that's not much taller than Matt here. So, I mean, Matt, you got anything to tell us? I'm just kidding.
No, it's weird because there's a bunch of different like theories with the giant thing too. Because for some reason, some people believe that like Adam and Eve were huge, were giants themselves.
I've heard that.
And then like as the lineage goes down. Then and breeding and the size slowly went down. I don't know.
I mean, I've never thought about their size personally. I thought about if he has rock hard abs, but I didn't think about his height. So I could see them being tall. And then over the course of history, didn't people used to be taller than what we are now? Even though we do have some, like my buddy's like 7 foot tall.
They used to be shorter.
Is that it? Do I have it backwards? Okay, they used to be shorter. Well, maybe they were tiny. Maybe they're like 4'3".
So I mean, they could have been tall, shrank, then tall again. Yeah. I don't know.
I'll ask when I get to heaven. How tall were you? And tell me about this book of Enoch.
I was gonna say, so this whole thing about the like God having like this council, like this council of other beings. It's like it's kind of God. So God's got this council of beings. You can see this in Psalm. It's in Psalm 82 where it talks about God like around this this council that he's kind of consulting with. You see it in Job. You see it in Job. I mean, the book of Job. It's like the way it starts is God's in the court, kind of talking, and then Satan comes up to him, and he's like talking back and forth with God, and God says, "Have you considered my servant Job?" So it's like it kind of the way Job starts, it kind of sets the scene like God's kind of having this like discourse like with all these beings, like he's talking to Satan, but so it's like they're kind of talking back and forth with each other, and then kind of.
Do you have it pulled up? Like Matt, you don't need to pull this up, but do you have that scripture in front of you? Because I'm curious what it says. I've read the whole Bible, but I haven't been like with the eyes of Enoch. I haven't read the Bible.
You're talking about Job, you mean?
Yeah, like how it starts. Like you don't have to like read the whole thing, but I'm just curious about the first few like verses.
Hey, let me get out of the Geneva Bible.
Jeez. Not him with the Geneva.
Here we go.
Because I'm curious about that. Basically, he's what? What is that? Go ahead. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
This is Job. This is Job 6. It says, "One day the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them. The Lord said to Satan, 'Where have you come from?' Satan answered the Lord, 'From roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth in it.' Then the Lord said to Satan, 'Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil.'" And then Satan responds, "Does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not put a hedge around him and his household and everything he has? You have blessed the work of his hands, so that his flocks and herds are spread throughout the land. But now stretch out your hand and strike everything he has, and he will surely curse you to your face." The Lord said to Satan, "Very well then, everything he has is in your power, but on the man himself do not lay a finger." Then Satan went out from the presence of the Lord. So it's like you've got this scene where
he was convening with his angels.
Yeah, it's like
there's a structure there.
Yeah, or they were just coming to say, "Hey." I don't know.
Let's go to Psalm. Let's go to Psalm 82.
Yeah, while we're doing this, let's go to Psalm. I like playing devil's advocate a little bit. I'm just kidding.
So this is what Psalm 82 says. God presides in the great assembly. He renders judgment among the gods, little g. How long will you defend the unjust and show partiality to the wicked? Defend the weak and the fatherless. Uphold the cause of the poor and oppressed. Rescue the weak and the needy. Delivering them from the hand of the wicked. The lowercase gods know nothing. They understand nothing. They walk about in darkness. All the foundation of the earth are shaken. I said, you are God. This is God talking. I said, you are gods. You are all sons of the Most High, but you will die like mere mortals. You will fall like every other ruler. Rise up, O God, judge the earth, for all the nations are your inheritance. So the
Curious.
The other side to this that some people will throw out is that he's not talking about angels. He's talking about because the word here that's translated as gods is Elohim that I was talking about earlier. So they'll say that this is the context here is that it's similar to the judges in the book of Judges, where these judges are appointed kind of like as rulers of like these different sections. And so they argued that this is talking about that. They're talking about these types of people. But in the context, when you look at the Hebrew, the way Elohim is being used here, no, it's talking about like an angelic.
Angelic beings, yeah. Because it's almost the same phrasing that's used in Genesis when it's talking about sons of God. Like,
why have my eyes been opened?
So then like let's just assume that, but you say like after the Tower of Babel, so in the Tower to God, and then God separates the nations. So God separates the nations, and then he claims Israel kind of like as his own. So it's kind of this whole idea kind of argues that like God has Israel, but then these other beings that were kind of rebelling against God kind of took over these other like these other kind of like tribes and stuff like that.
Yeah. Why would God allow that though?
Well, I think so. That's kind of like that's kind of like the idea of like why Jesus comes. It's like he reclaims he comes back to reclaim God's kingdom.
Right.
So it's almost like the Great Commission, go therefore and make disciples. It's like that's God's way of getting all the nations back under him. So it's like through Jesus. Because I don't know if you know you're familiar with the harrowing of Hades. So this is what so when Jesus dies on the cross, in the creed, like he descends into Hades. He's in Hades. So the ancient understanding of this was that, and this is the Orthodox Christian view of this too. So he goes down into he goes down into Hades, which is the realm of the dead. So in the Old Testament, Judaism, when you die, you go to Sheol. You don't go to you don't go to heaven or anything. You just go to Sheol. And so this is where all the dead are. So when Jesus dies, he goes there and he proclaims the gospel to all the dead souls there, and then he takes them with him. He takes them out of Hades into heaven. So it's like the Jesus's death isn't just like this. I think the modern like kind of Protestant view is that it's kind of it's almost like a business deal. It's like Jesus died, he gives the money to God, and everything's fine. But it's like the understanding of this is this was like a cosmic, almost like Jesus was like owning them. It's like they were taking him, like God was taking control back of like the universe.
Dang. Okay. See, I've always had the mindset like God went to heaven, or Jesus went to heaven, hung out with God for a couple days, came back.
Yeah, because then I can pull up Peter, because that's where it talks about that.
Yeah, it's funny because we were actually, my brother and I were talking about this probably about a month ago. Probably talking about like, did Jesus go to hell when he died on the cross? So, anyways, full circle moment. That's not focusing. Focus.
Here we go. I gotta go to 1 Peter.
All right, Jamie, pull it up.
We're pulling it up, boys.
We'll cut all this out.
We won't.
All right, keep it as is.
Let it happen.
Yeah, that's right.
Baby, let it ride.
Everybody,
Unedited, unfiltered.
That's right. Get your snacks. We don't want to look like the. Never mind. I'm not going to get political. Never mind.
Just throw it out there, Blake.
We're not editing our footage. This is the raw, unedited, full interview. Never mind.
So this is First Peter. He's talking about. So he says, "For Christ also suffered once for our sins, the righteous for the unrighteous, to bring you to God. He was put to death in the body, but made alive in the spirit. After being made alive, he went and made proclamation to the imprisoned spirits, to those who were disobedient long ago, and God waited patiently in the days of Noah while the ark was being built." So that's kind of where that whole idea comes from.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, daggone. I love
there you go.
Scripture comes again. There he is. Huh. So he went, went, proclaimed the gospel, yeeted them out of there. Daggone.
So, because it also says too that the angels that were kind of part of this original like conspiracy, they get confined into the abyss. So you have Sheol, and then you have the abyss, which is under that, which is where these kind of fallen angels are thrown into. Because when I don't know if there's another scripture for that. I have to pull that up. See, I should have some scriptures ready.
We know for next time. This is where we can put our sponsor.
Yeah, throw that in.
Yeah. Sponsored by Conspiracy Socks.
Yeah, this is in Jude, where it says the angels who did not keep their positions of authority but abandoned their proper dwelling are kept in eternal change and gloomy darkness until the judgment of the great day. So they're locked in the abyss.
Gloomy darkness.
Yeah, so they're in the abyss. Because the demons, when Jesus is casting them out, that's what they say. They say, "Don't throw us into the abyss." Because they know about the abyss.
I feel like we need to have like a 6-hour episode of this.
Yeah, going into the crazy stuff.
It's all coming together.
So I think
interesting. Okay.
So I think that's kind of like the whole. So it's like in the Old Testament, it's like the whole point of Israel was they were trying to reclaim the nations back to Yahweh in the Old Testament, Yahweh. So that's why they're doing like all this conquering and stuff like that. That's why God's like sending them out to judge like all these other different civilizations. Like God's using them as like his like tool to kind of reclaim all this, like all these lands, all this stuff like that.
Yeah. And that's interesting the way he does that instead of just be like, all right, you're reclaimed. He's like, go people of Israel.
That'd be too easy.
Yeah, also like the free will thing. Anyways.
I'll just say that I think that's the way like Revelation, in the way that stuff works. Like Revelation is like a general sense. Like in the scripture, it's all like within the context of where these people are. It's like, so like obviously when they're writing down these prophecies and stuff like that, they're just using like their mindset. It's like that's the way God uses people. It's like he's using them like in their context, like where they are, and it's kind of like that, right? It's like I think that's just the way God chooses to operate. It's like I think he can do what he wants to, but it's like for whatever reason he chooses to kind of work through these different modes, different methods.
Yeah.
I think it sounds weird. I think it shows kindness in a way, because like he could be like a dictator, but instead he lets.
Yeah.
I don't know how to phrase it. You know what I mean? He could just, like I said, snap his fingers. Things happen. But Book of Enoch, we're back. Just kidding.
That's the general, like that's the general idea. It's like that's why. So if we just read out of Enoch, it would just be us reading. But it's like I think that's the main idea, right? It's like you have these you have these angels called the Watchers, and they come down. So that's the other thing I wanted to bring up about Mount Hermon. So Mount Hermon is where they join together in Enoch. So this is in the book of Enoch. The angels get together on Mount Hermon, and that's where they kind of conspire to do this, to mate with these human women. So it's that kind of ties into like this idea that mountains are kind of like this other kind of like sacred space.
Yeah, like holy realms.
Yeah, because you see in the Bible, it's like where does Moses get the Ten Commandments? He gets them on Mount Sinai. So like all these things happen on mountains, and then so the big one is that the Transfiguration, where Jesus kind of reveals all of his glory, and that's where they see Elijah and Moses, and that's where the disciples want to build they want to build like a temple there. That like we shouldn't leave here, we should stay here. So one of the theories, one of the proposed sites for the Transfiguration is that it happened on Mount Hermon, the same mountain that the Enoch thing happened on. So it's kind of like God's way of reclaiming that spot. Like, right. Hey, this thing happened before, so this is where the Transfiguration happens there. So so Mount Hermon is one of the supposed sites that the Transfiguration probably happened.
Pardon me while I Google stuff.
Yeah.
Carry on.
I mean, it makes sense because you got to think like the peaks of a mountain is probably like the closest earthly thing to heaven, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, then, I mean, in any other kind of like mythology, right? You have Mount Olympus. It's like that's where the gods hang out. They hang out on Mount Olympus.
Yeah.
So it's kind of all related. It's like mountains are kind of always this. That's like a portal. It's like, so you don't know what's up there. You get away from the mountain.
Well, it's lifted up, so no, I get. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm looking up Mount Hermon right now. I was like, I need to see what it looks like.
Yeah, you gotta get
a big old mountain.
Visual.
Just snow. Couldn't have put a campfire up there or something.
Yeah, you need get some other stuff going on up there.
I know. Put a temple or something up there.
But the whole idea about this, like God having like this council, like I said, Michael Heiser is kind of like the recent guy that kind of talks about all this. He passed away not too long ago. He's not alive anymore, but he was kind of one of the main spokespeople of this kind of theory that God has this council that he chooses to kind of do his business this way, and it's kind of. This is kind of like the same way that a lot of the ancient kind of Jewish writers, they kind of interpret it this way. It's like the idea that the Nephilim were these giants. I mean, that's the traditional kind of interpretation of it. So like a more modern interpretation of this that you'll see is that the Nephilim were just these. Well, so this is, I think, Matt, you had some more.
There's three. I think like the three biggest ones are like the one that the angels came down, had relations with the women and giants and all that stuff. But there's also like that they were just always there type thing. Like that the Nephilim were just beings that were there, and kind of well known at the time. And then that they were descendants of Seth and Cain. So like the good side is the descendants of Seth, and then the evil side, the descendants of Cain, and then they had children, and then that kept going, and that's where some people believe the Nephilim came from as well.
Yeah, so that's one of the more not so supernatural theories is that like kind of Matt was saying, like the sons of God in Genesis 6, they're the sons of Seth. Like descended from Adam, and both descended from Adam because you have Seth and then you have the line of Cain. So Cain is the other one. So you got like the kind of like the good mixing with the bad. It's like that's what it's about. So, but I don't know. It to me it's like that. I don't know. That's so inconsequential. It's like why would you bring that?
Yeah, it makes no sense. And then the other one to where like they've kind of just always been was derived from Genesis 6:4 and just how Moses worded everything. Like if you look at it, like the biggest thing is there were giants on the earth in those days. And then that's a separate footnote. And also afterwards. And then the sons of God came in. So they were completely separate things, is what some people believe, which is kind of, I don't know. Like, I feel like the theory that makes the most sense is that the angels came down and,
Yeah, I think that's the I think because a lot of people have that interpretation even without the Book of Enoch. It's like you don't really need the Book of Enoch to you need the Book of Enoch to come to that conclusion. I think you can kind of infer that there. It's just Enoch is kind of this like I said before. I don't think it's like, okay, well now Enoch should be scripture. It's like this we should consider this on the same level as everything else. I think it's more of a it's like a historical document. I think it's kind of just documenting like this is kind of just a version of what happened. It's like I think because I think like with Jude quoting that piece of it, it's like it's obviously it was a well-known work that like these people would quote from it. It was known in like Old Testament Judaism. In between Old Testament and New Testament, it was kind of known as a document. Like Matt said before, it was with the Dead Sea Scrolls, so it was important enough to translate.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they had it there for a reason.
For sure. That's what I was going to ask. Like, what is the end consensus, I guess? And you kind of answered it, like not necessarily scripture, more of a historical document. That's how I would kind of lean towards it. I'll just do more research on it before I make a conclusion.
I think a large part in why people don't canonize it, and it's kind of hard to canonize it, is just the dating of when it was written versus when, these other books and documents. Like, you got to think, like, Genesis was written in like the 1300s BC, like thousands of years before Jesus came. And then I think Enoch was 300 BC. Yeah. So like that's 1,000 years difference. So, but at the same time, I think Jude was written later as well.
Well, yeah. So I mean, it's like you're not going to have a you're not going to be able to like find like an original document like written before the flood. It's like it's never going to happen. So it's like you're always going to have kind of like later works. But I mean the oral tradition at the time was very strong. So it's like you're going to have these stories that are passed down, and may not get written until later. So you're going to see stuff like that. But that's me. I think, like I said, I think that's kind of where I would throw it. Is like I think it just kind of. I think it's worth reading because I mean I think it does have some historical significance, but I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't like make church doctrine out of
it. You can dissect it and get pieces out of it that
But I mean I think like the whole idea of like God having like this court of angels that he kind of uses to kind of do his bidding, and like that like kind of a chunk rebelling, because I mean we're already, even if you take away Enoch, you're already granting at least one angel fell. It's like it's like you're saying like it would just surprise. It's like, so you're saying he was the only one, there wasn't others. It's like it seems like
a lot of people believe that like the angels that did fall with Satan, those are what we classify as demons. Right. But that's a whole nother,
We can get into that topic next week.
Well, I've seen some people say that demons are disembodied spirits of the Nephilim. I've heard that too. I've seen
that's interesting.
So I've seen that. I don't have anything in front of me to like. But I have read that. So if we wanted to get into that, we could.
Let's research and get into it. Yeah, that's a whole other topic. That would be interesting. We could. No, never mind. I was gonna say we could watch like The Conjuring, and then have a discussion afterwards.
Yeah, talk about the whole unseen realm of what's around us, but we can't see, and then get into some demons.
Well, I was going to say too, because Paul says that we're not. It's not against it's not a war of flesh and bone. It's a war against principalities. It's like there's a good side and there's a bad side that's waging this spiritual war, and it's like it just seems. I don't know. I just think we're not given it enough credit if we just I don't know. It's like we discount a lot of like all this other supernatural stuff when it's like the very. It's like we'll grant that God created everything. We'll grant that Christ died. We'll grant that all this happened. But it's like the weird kind of weird stuff. It's like no, that's too far. We can't.
Obviously, that couldn't happen. God made everything appear out of nothing. But this other stuff, that's just silly.
Yeah.
No, I see what you're saying for sure.
There's some witches, there's some demons, there's some crazy stuff going on.
Just kidding. Oh, never mind. Bad joke. Bad joke. I'm tired, y'all.
You just said.
Oh man, I gotta do some research.
Yeah, but that's kind of like that's kind of stuff that I've been getting into. It's like us, we're trying to get into the weird stuff. We're getting to
you've hit that next level of your Christian walk, examining Enoch.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. It's like some of the other books that aren't in the Bible that aren't normally in the Bible. It's like obviously you have you've got the canon that most Protestants use, the 66 books, and then you've got the canon. You got the Apocrypha or the Deuterocanon that the Catholics and the Orthodox have. So it's like I think those books that are like in the Apocrypha, I think I would put those kind of in the same thing where it's like I think it is good to read those. I think there is benefit to reading them, but I don't think I wouldn't put them on the level that they do, where I would say like we need to
they're not scripture.
Well, I think you could. It's like the two. So I don't know. So Saint Jerome had this thing. He made a distinction. He had a 2-tiered view of scripture. So it's like you have like the main canon where that's like you can make church doctrine off of that, but then you have like the second tier where it's good for personal study, but you shouldn't use it to craft doctrine out of. It's like you can kind of do it that way. So that's kind of the way I look at it. And it's like I think I kind of look Enoch the same way. I think it's worth reading, but I wouldn't just make like my whole church off of it.
Yeah.
With Enoch, you can separate it from because some of those documents that they found in the Dead Sea Scrolls are just crazy.
Well, so that's why I said there's three books of Enoch. There's first Enoch that is definitely to 3 to 200, kind of that area that has the Book of the Watchers and the Book of the Bear. But then Enoch's 2 and 3. There's like no real way to pinpoint those. So most of the time people just kind of don't pay attention to those. Those are just some weird
written by some guy named Bill.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes, but then you have like all those weird Gnostic Gospels that come out in the New Testament.
Mary and Judas and.
But I say like those, I would just say like no, you should. Those have nothing. No, because those are all just like these Gnostic groups would put like famous apostles' names on them just to kind of promote their whatever crazy thing they were like trying to push out there.
Right.
And then they had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah. Huh.
See, we're decrypting the kingdom. That's what we're here for. That's what we're doing.
Name plug.
But I will say, like, if you ever want to look into the Dead Sea Scroll stuff, it is pretty cool. Was it Isaiah? They found like the oldest at the time, the oldest document was like a few hundred years newer than the one they found with the Dead Sea stuff. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Isaiah, they found it's complete. They have an entire thing of Isaiah.
And then that became now the oldest document of that book, and it was translated word for word with the ones that we did have. I think it was a couple hundred years difference, or it could have even been more. I'm not 100% sure.
Have y'all heard about this guy Wesley Huff?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. He was the guy on Joe Rogan, not the one talking about the wall, but he was on there. He's also on another podcast. I can't remember the name of it. Listen to him on there, but he talks about, not on Joe Rogan one, but on the other one. He's asked about the Book of Enoch. He's asked about y'all mentioned this idea, like I think it's the Book of Judas, Mary, like what are they? And he kind of says something similar, that like those are Mary and Judas, those are just their names were essentially used to make those books have some legitimacy, when in reality they're not at all.
They were also. Sorry, continue.
No, I was just gonna say with Enoch, he's kind of talking about it as like, I think he's talking about it as like a historical thing. I need to go back and watch those, or listen to them. But no, he's great. He's cool. What were you saying?
One of the Gnostic Gospels, I can't remember which one it is. I can't remember if it's Thomas or I don't know. But one of them describes like the resurrection, and when the tomb is open, the cross like walks out of the tomb.
Yeah.
It's like crazy stuff like that. And it's like one of them, it's like an angel or something comes out of the tomb, and he's like 100 feet tall or something. It's like it's
there's some weird stuff, but it's also like they're selling themselves to be like I don't know if you can say gospels, but actual like tellings of biblical narratives or whatever. But it's like they're hundreds of years after Jesus is dead, so like that's another that like there's a bunch of inaccuracies with those books.
Yes, we could look at those and read all the crazy stuff that's on.
That idea. That'd be fun. So we got, let's see, next few episodes are already planned out. Demons, these weird books. I want to read about the cross walking out of the tomb.
I can't remember which one it is. It's in one of them. You have to look it up. It's like the cross like walks out of the tomb.
We can read it and be like, this is why this is stupid. This is why this does not work.
We got to bounce around back and forth a little bit.
There's another one that says like when Jesus was a kid, he like murdered a guy. It's something crazy like that.
Nice. I'm just kidding. Man, we're gonna look these up, dive into them, and then we're gonna discuss them just for fun.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like we got to do those. We got to finish Jack the Ripper.
Oh, you didn't finish?
No. We did part one. We still got like 3 more victims, and then we got to do the suspects. So we still got.
Join you for part 2.
So we got to crank them out. We got all these ideas we got to roll through.
Oh man! All right, cool. I didn't miss it. Good.
No, you only missed the introduction.
Perfect. I'm just playing. Good.
See, you missed the boring setup stuff. Now you're come in on the nitty gritty.
I want to be here for the murders.
And now you'll know even less.
Excellent. I'll have to do a recap of the episode. I'll have to go back and watch the episode. Where can we watch the episodes, Hunter and Matt?
We can watch them on YouTube, our channel, The Kingdom of the Cryptid. Also, go to we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok.
TikTok, the platform of the Chinese, which I guess is American now. I don't know.
I was thinking we got to do we come up with a TikTok dance. Is that how we spread around? We got to do we
got to get an audio that is trending, like a Taylor Swift or a something that's just trending right now, and then we just got to do some jig.
I don't know. They liked Connor running around looking for the Ripper, so
they did.
Your video was funny. I gotta admit, I was like, the creativity on this is great.
Yeah, that's not what I heard.
Well, they're not true fans.
You got a little criticism about it, but it's okay.
Oh man,
we know our audience.
We'll talk off air. I didn't know who this person is that criticized you.
But we know what we're doing. We got our audience. We know what's going on. See, that's the thing. See, we got to do. But I did hear feedback. I did get some other positive feedback. They said more props. We didn't use enough. We need more props
in our episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt's gotta find it, brother. I'll just shave mine. Just keep this. Well, daggone, what do I need to go get? I need to go get something.
You get you something, mate.
Get me something, mate.
For the Ripper. You need some new costume for the Ripper.
I'll play the Ripper. That's what I'll do. I don't know what the Ripper wears, but
you should tell them. No, I'm not the Ripper.
All right.
You should
So I told a story at the beginning. You were going to be the guy in the story, but because you weren't there, I had to rework it. So that the guy in the story at the beginning was going to be you.
You can do the next one. I'll be the next one. Oh man, that's funny.
So I was like, well, I'll just make it some random guy.
Yeah. That's funny.
That's the whole game plan.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is people need to like, share,
Yep,
high five, share with your mom, share with your dad. Play this at church.
Yeah,
it's a good episode to play at church. It'll get you thinking. Play it for your youth group. Don't play it for your youth group. That's not a wise idea. They're malleable at that point. We don't want any malleability at that point.
I don't know. This is PG Family Channel. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you don't want to hit them with giants and crazy stuff like that.
No, mating with
a foundation.
The fallen angels or whatever, mating with women. You don't want to hit them with that. That's a little PG-13.
Oh, that's just knowledge right there.
Whatever.
I'll plug the Book of Enoch. I recommend this version.
It's like Gandalf.
It's got concept art in it.
Why is it spaceships?
The giants go to war with each other.
With spaceships?
Yeah.
Hey, that could get into the another episode we could talk about. Another conspiracies. A highly advanced highly technologically advanced high society, whatever, long before that existed on the earth. Like before, I don't know, the flood, I guess. I don't know. But like there's this conversations happening about like there's some society that was
Mayans?
So technologically advanced and they got wiped out. And now we don't have all their technology. We got blasted into the Stone Age.
But see, that's exactly what I was just talking about. I was saying that the angel showed men how to do all this crazy stuff, and the giants got out of control, so God had to do the flood. That's literally what we were talking about.
I will say
deep. We're going to go in deeper. We got to go right. We're going to talk about the flood. We're going to talk about before the flood.
I want to know about the technology that we no longer have. I want to know about all of it.
If you want to know about some ancient technology, look at the Mayan stuff. That stuff's cool.
Like the pyramids?
No. They had a bunch of different tools and gadgets and stuff. Look it up.
Don't they have that screaming whistle like that? Oh,
what?
Yeah, that's advanced.
Was that that was the Aztecs, wasn't it?
Oh, it probably is the Aztecs. They're all the same. Just kidding.
That's
Don't cancel me.
That's a little racist.
I'm just playing.
They're all the same, huh?
What do you mean by that?
They didn't cut out dudes' hearts for 30 years to take that.
I'm sorry.
We can't be three white boys saying everybody's the same.
Yeah, whatever. We're different. We're built different. America, baby. Okay.
I was gonna say one thing about that, and then we can cut it.
One thing about what?
About the Mayans. There was some explorer that I could be making this up. I could have heard this, and I'm just conflating all sorts of everything. But I read something about this explorer that went to South America, and he described like this crazy city that was like this like technologically advanced city that he found, and when he tried to find it again, it's like he couldn't locate it.
Yeah, it disappeared.
I know who you're talking about. Well, I've heard of what you're talking about. How saw this advanced city, tried to find it again, couldn't find it. I know what you speak of.
Yeah,
we'll dive into it. That's 6 episodes from now. I'm just kidding.
Put it in the hopper. That's something else.
We have episodes through the end of next year at this point.
Oh, we're on the roll.
Man.
We can dive into some history, ancient civilizations.
There we go. We could have Wesley Huff on.
Ain't happening.
You know, I've been looking at like people, like local people that I could try to get on here. So
yeah.
I think it could work. I think if we get our rhythm on, I think we could do something like that.
I think so. Well, with that is the Book of Enoch. Thank you for your time.
knock it up.